Hello and welcome to the Dweebz in Japanese podcast. I am one of your hosts, Patrick.
And I'm also one of your hosts.
I like how you always sit there like, just like taking it all in like ASMR. Is that how you're supposed to experience
it's definitely
ASMR?
a treat. I think so. I think you gotta be submerged in water and complete darkness.
It's one of those isolation chambers or whatever it's called.
Yeah.
Dude, have you ever tried one of those?
No, I don't know if I would want to. I feel like I'd just have a panic attack or something.
I think that the warm air, because that's what I think about. Like, I don't like warm air. So if it's, warm air that's sort of not, there's no wind, there's no air circulation at all. So if there's air circulation, that'd be nice. Just a little bit of that, like sort of like a fan in there or something like that. That'd be, I think I could experience that. But if it's just like hot air and you're just laying there, that would definitely be painful. Anyways, latest Japanese news. There was a magnitude 6 earthquake in Miyagi-Ken. So I think I was reading the article correctly when I was saying that basically the same kind of area that the 2011 like Fukushima disaster. Everybody knows about that with the nuclear. Yeah, so the nuclear plant meltdown, sort of like systematic meltdown. It's the same area that had the earthquake. Judy was telling me about that this morning. Her family's fine. I mean, they live in Tokyo and sort of the northwest part of Tokyo. But we were talking about that this morning, like definitely for people, if there was an earthquake in Tokyo, it'd be really dangerous. But I think because of the fault lines, it doesn't really, it's not really that big of a concern, although they do have earthquakes in Tokyo too that they feel. But yeah, it's unfortunate. There's already that Yahoo News article I was reading said like 50 people are injured. I'm hoping it stays around there and it doesn't go higher. And but I mean, yeah, Japan is one of the best countries in the world when it comes to like preparing against earthquakes. Like our buildings and our skyscrapers, we actually model after theirs and work with them because they're the best in the world at earthquake proofing their buildings.
That makes sense.
But they do have a lot of old buildings there too that because of culture and like history they don't want to tear down too.
Yeah, those probably don't hold up as well, huh?
They don't, but they know, and it's a reality. Like, in the Seattle area, there's a bunch of fault lines too, and they know that if there's the big one, off the coast, which is destined to happen, that they need to prepare for that. Despite that, they're like, oh, it's expensive. Normal people don't want to pay more taxes to pay for like basically rebuilding schools that are made out of brick and stuff. So when it happens, because it will, it's going to be pretty devastating, especially like the downtown Seattle area and the South Puget Sound and stuff, Tacoma. Yeah. So I'm hoping that people
it'll be fun.
Push to fix it, but yeah, it's I don't know either. Yeah, people like to postpone things, especially when they seem like some sort of far out there thing.
Yeah,
it sounds basically like a comet or an asteroid coming to hit Earth. That's basically how they think about it. Even though they know science is telling us this is bound to happen, the likelihood of this happening is really high, so we should prepare for it and spend money on it. People,
people have a hard time spending money on future investments.
Yeah. So that's the latest Japan news. We're hoping everything is everybody's okay and everything. There's supposed to be a second, aftershock or whatever it's called. Which people also worry about. When an earthquake hits, they're always worried about that, but they're also worried about the aftershock.
But they usually aren't as high, right?
I don't think they're as high. But still, it's something not to play down because it could be like another 4 or 5 magnitude. I don't know. So, but they're typically less, at least that I know. I'm no expert with earthquakes.
me either. It's way out of my domain.
We're not seismologists. Khalil, what is your, on a sort of lighter note, what is your latest Japanese study news?
Well, this is this isn't quite on topic just yet, but it is. Recently, I had a dream that had a lot of Japanese in it, so that must mean
Ooh.
something, right?
Wow, you must
But
be
yeah,
studying hard.
I don't know, man. I did reach level 5 finally. I don't know why it took me so long, but
That's
we're
an achievement. Did you? I
it
love
is.
Wanikani's emails that you get after leveling up.
Oh, I didn't get an email. Maybe I will
You didn't get an
soon because I
email?
think it was just the
Oh!
other day. Yeah, I'll
You
have to
might need
look
to check your
for
spam or something.
it.
Because those are great. Those little, especially when you're at level 55. It's like I'm
Are they
almost there,
different?
and yeah, they're different every level. Like they
Wow,
create them
okay.
every level. Yeah,
That's
and they
really
have different
cool.
like gifts and stuff in every email. So it's a great idea.
Cool.
You're level
Well,
5.
level 5.
You're dreaming in
Growing.
Japanese. You're basically fluent, or you're at least on your way to being fluent.
Trying to get there. I want to. Yeah. Yeah. And I got your book that you sent me. Books.
Sweet,
Nazo
nice.
Nazo and Full Metal Alchemist. I don't know the. I can't read the kanji.
You might see a bunch of my like pencil marks in there too. I
I
have
see
no
a
idea.
bookmark.
Yeah, I have no idea what the pencil marks and stuff mean. I don't even know what I was doing. Maybe I was circling words that were hard or something for me, and so I was like writing it down. But
Oh
I
yeah, I
mean,
see it now.
yeah, I was reading, and I think I was writing hiragana in there too. Maybe not. But that was a couple of years ago that I was reading that book. There's a bunch of hard words in there, dude. It's like
Oh boy.
I like Renkin Jutsu is alchemist. Like these are words that you don't normally use in
Oh yeah.
conversation, and so a lot of them are fantasy words too. So you have to just, I mean, but that's the thing is like if it's interesting to you, then it's worth learning. Obviously,
Right.
especially at least like the grammar and how they're having conversations and stuff.
Yeah. Yeah. Ha Hagane no Nankin Jutsushi
Yeah, Renkin Hagane is like
Ranking.
iron, right?
Hmm.
So the iron alchemist.
Iron Alchemist. Cool. Very cool. Yeah, thanks again for that. I tried reading the first couple pages and I was like, oh boy, getting it's up for a little challenge, you know? There's already many words I didn't know. That's part of the fun, right?
Yeah, did you try reading Nazo Nazo? And by the way, Hagane
Oh
is
yeah.
not iron; it's steel. I just looked it up.
Steel.
I don't even know the differences between. I know steel is stronger than iron, but I know iron is really heavy. Um, but I don't really know too much about metals, even in English.
I
That's my excuse. But
think
go ahead.
steel.
You were saying about reading Nazo Nazo. Did you try to read a little bit?
I haven't looked into it just yet. I'm just flipping through it now. It's very nice though. I'm still impressed that it's just all in color and
Yeah,
illustrations are
yeah. The entire
fun.
thing is colored, which is cool.
It
There's a
is.
bunch of little, let's say like little riddles, like what is I don't even know. I can't think of a good example off the top of my head. Like, what is something that eats grass and typically lives with farmers? And you say like cow and stuff like that. And then there's like little
Oh gosh,
answers
yeah.
answers at the bottom or on the side. And it's really simple Japanese. It's for third and fourth graders, so it's pretty approachable.
Oh yeah, 3, 4. Is that Nensei?
Yep. Yeah. Yep. San yon
Nensei.
nensei.
Sanyo Nensei.
Yep.
Cool. Yeah. It kind of reminds me of like, do you remember on the back of like cereal boxes they would have just like those random little activity things?
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
they'd have
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
riddles and little
Do
puzzles and
they
stuff.
still
That's what
have
it kind of
those?
reminds me of. I don't know.
I haven't bought that kind of that kind of cereal. I said almost
Hmm.
said candy. I haven't bought that kind of cereal
Candy.
because it's like candy,
It is.
and I would grow a bigger gut. Um, it's crazy how you turn 20 something and then that starts to happen.
Right.
Sometimes it doesn't for some people, but for me, it definitely I've noticed that. So um,
My metabolism's still pretty high. I do like
hmm,
sweets, but I don't crave them as much as I used to.
me
But
either.
I do
Mostly
like a
because of
good
like
one
thinking
in
about
a
a heart
while.
attack. Like I don't want a heart attack, so I'm definitely trying to stay away from sugary stuff as much as I
Yeah.
will. Actually, what's funny
right.
about that side tangent? I actually have Judy. This is my idea, not hers. I have like a food journal that I take every day, so that I'm like accountable to myself. Like today, and
Okay.
I read everything in Japanese. So like mikan, and this one was misoshiru. You can't read that,
Orange.
but I take pictures of like all the stuff that I eat the other day. But then at the end of the day,
Cool.
as part of my journaling, I have Judy rate it from 1 to 10. So yesterday was a 6 because I had a brownie at 9 a.m. So
Dang, you're
that
so
was not
close.
good. I know. Oh, I see in your notes that you dove into the grammar on
Yeah, a
Taekim's.
little bit. I learned about the
Oh,
article, I guess.
yeah, like the informal
Um,
des.
yeah,
Yeah.
and it's more for like declaring things, right?
Yeah. More of like declaring something that's already known or sort of rhetorical sometimes.
Hmm.
Um,
So is that
yeah.
similar to yo or not yo? Yeah, yo. Is that similar to yo in a way?
Dayo, you say dayo a lot.
Oh,
So if somebody says like um like この間猫を飼ったんだよ or neko katanda. It's kind of like it sounds like when you say neko katanda, it's like a reply to neko katteru yo. So you say neko katteru yo, like I own a cat. I'm taking care of a cat. Well, that means like own. Katteru means like own. So I'm owning a cat. And then like your friend's reply or your family's reply would be neko katanda, like you got a cat, you adopted a
oh,
cat. So it's like
it's
a
like
rhetorical thing. It's not really, you're not saying new information. You're kind of
yeah.
like parroting, like repeating what they were saying. Oh, neko katanda.
Okay.
It's like that most often you use that, but when you say it dayo, that's really common.
Yo.
Oishinda. It's more of like a reply to
Mm-hmm.
what somebody said. But if you add dayo, it's weird. Like you're telling the person new information.
Interesting.
Oishindayo. It's like a oishiyo kind of sounds a little bit feminine, but it's more like polite. But if you say oishindayo, it's like more masculine. If you add that or like no da, it sounds a little bit more masculine. A little bit harsher, but not necessarily. There's a little nuances, but normally when they say that, they say like katanda, kata no da, but you shorten it and you say nda, and that's like a reply to somebody saying something.
Interesting.
So I don't know if he wrote that in there. I'm assuming he did.
I don't recall. I don't remember. I'd have to go back.
What did you learn in that article? What was he What was he saying that it means?
He had a lot of, pull up. He had a lot of like conversation, but like very simple conversation examples.
Did it kind of go along the lines of what I was saying, or was it normally a reply, or was it just? I'm curious about
there
that.
was some new information in there from what you just told me. Yeah. So the way he describes it is a state of being, rather
the state
than
of being,
yeah. So that's kind of the way he describes that. And then a lot of it that chapter was conjugating state of beings.
Okay. Yeah, I'm way better at giving a bunch of examples of a way somebody might say it. Not so good at like explaining exactly the nuances and everything in English.
Yeah.
Because it's hard because a lot of it you're talking about a grammar that's different than English. You're talking about entirely different language, so you have to get in the thinking and then used to hearing it, you're used to speaking it, and then you kind of your brain starts to pick up these patterns, and it's easier to try to guess what something means or to try to guess how to say something by saying it.
Yeah.
but obviously grammar guides help. They help a lot, especially if it's like a completely new concept to you and you're like reading something that's really, really helpful.
Hmm. I'm trying to focus on the conjugating part because that's the thing that's
Yeah,
hard to me because it makes familiar words sound a lot different to me, so they're harder to
yeah, for
pick up.
sure. For sure. The entire like ending would be different. Like that first part
Hmm.
would be the same or the kanji would be the same, but you're like, especially when you're reading novels, they'll, create this like crazy long compound sentence. I think that's the right linguistic term, compound sentence or something, or like a bunch of prepositions after. Is that the right thing? Is that the right way to say that? Basically, it's just like a really long sentence with a bunch of commas,
Yeah,
and it'll have like you know verbs conjugated in their te form or just like completely dictionary root in that there's like no conjugation at all. And then the conjugation will be at the last verb at the end. And so it'll just be like stuff that I am not used to in conversation at all because it's not something you really would say in conversation. You would sound like a book.
yeah.
so
Hmm.
so yeah, grammar is trick. It's a lot. I would say that even reading novels and stuff, it's a lot easier for me now going back and reading it because I'm way better at having conversations in Japanese than I am
Yeah,
with like formal grammar and stuff. But definitely like right now I'm reading Darker Than Black. So I
nice.
switched from the novel I was reading Zero Ikanashi, which is like a mystery novel based in Wyoming, United States.
Hmm.
And switched from that, which was like sort of interesting, but I wanted more of a story based in Japan.
Gotcha.
Because I'm not really. I mean, I might read that book later, but it's not. It wasn't. The story wasn't engaging enough for me. It was just like, oh, I know how this is gonna go. I would prefer more like out there, a little bit
Yeah,
more visual. Because I bet that the book that I was reading is more interesting to Japanese people who are really familiar
yeah,
with
because it's a
Wyoming, and it's
different
like
setting.
describing the
Yeah.
back hills and stuff like that, Black Hills, sorry, um, and describing like a camp. I almost said camping car, which is a Japanese word for like RV. Um, so describing RVs and stuff and people living in RVs, and that's like kind of foreign to people in
Yeah.
different countries, especially Japan. So to me, that's like so normal and it's an
Hmm.
American thing. So stuff like that is not really like that interesting to me. So
Yeah,
I'll
you
probably,
need
and
more
it's a pretty long book
contrast.
too. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and it's
Hmm.
like 500 pages long. So I'm like,
Yeah,
if I'm not even enjoying it the first couple of chapters in, I'm just gonna like move. I'm not. I don't want to make. I don't want to push again. Like previous conversation. I want to go through a book that I enjoy.
yeah, of
Not a
course.
book. Manga, Darker Than Black, is really interesting and fun, and so I'm already like engaged in the story and everything. Obviously, it's a lot easier to read. It's a lot less words. It's a lot shorter. So I feel like I'm just
Hmm.
gonna finish it. Maybe move on to the next manga. Maybe move on to a bunch of novels that I have. Probably the latter is more likely to happen. I'll probably just move on to a novel, but I don't know. Who knows? But yeah,
Yeah.
I'm already like 30 something pages into the manga versus the novel, which I was I think around 30 after like a month.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
just like wasn't really engaged in it. I was really busy too. So
Hmm. Yeah, I'm
so
sure the pictures help with context too.
they do, yeah, for sure. The pictures help with context, and it's just more of like because you'll glance and see like the next page, and then you'll see the visuals, obviously, and you like want to know what's happening, and then so
Yeah.
you'll read. Versus like a novel, you have to read to understand what's happening. Like you have to read and
Yes.
understand the context. And so for me, it's like I don't have the next image to know. Sometimes this happens in English though, because I can just glance at something, right, and kind of what's happening. I don't know if you've
Yeah.
ever read a novel before where you're not trying to, but you
Yeah, but
like
you're like reading ahead.
reading ahead a little bit before you even read the details. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
It's like,
Like
let me
that's
check out this next page real quick. Oh, interesting.
yeah. Like you scan kind of like on Kindle, for example. I used to have like the infinity scroll thing on my phone, and so I would like scroll down a little bit just to see what's going to happen. I'm like, oh, this is interesting. And then you want to go back up and read all the details before you get there.
Yeah, of
It's
course.
almost like a teaser for yourself. So I would do that often reading books, and but in Japanese, obviously, it's harder to like do that. It's harder to just to skim it because you're taking
Yeah.
time to understand all the kanji and everything. So
Yeah, it
so
takes a lot
even
more.
if I'm not engaged now, like the beginning is supposed to be the most engaging thing. And the beginning is
Right.
like engaging. I see the hook. It's like the cliche hook, like somebody dies, somebody kills
Yeah.
somebody, and it's like that sets
Oh,
up the
who
whole
did
entire
it?
premise. Yeah, exactly. Like sets up the whole entire premise for the book. And I'm like,
It's also the
I'm not
premise
really
for like
that.
every mystery book, isn't it?
Every
Every
mystery book,
mystery murder
every
book.
mystery show, every mystery everything. I'm just like, I
Something
normally like
happened. Who did
these,
it?
but I'm just not feeling it for right now. So Darker Than Black
Hmm.
is all. I forgot a lot of details from Darker Than Black, but I remember like
Hmm.
Lean, and I'm like reading through. I'm like, oh, I kind of remember this, but this is years ago. Like
Yeah.
I don't remember all the details. So
Right.
reading the
It's
manga
kind of
again is
fun to
really
go
really
back
fun.
for that. Yeah.
Yeah, because we watched the anime, and I don't
Anime.
remember the and I never read the manga, but my brother bought
Hmm.
me this Japanese version of the manga, like the original.
Mhm.
So it's been really fun. I'm excited to
It's
finish
cool.
that. Yeah, and then maybe pick up again like a shorter novel after that. So
Yeah, yeah.
moving on from our study news, all exciting, everything's exciting all the time.
It
Your
really
favorite
is, huh?
Japanese word recently, Kolo?
Yeah, right now it's Yuki because
Why is that?
今日は雪降っています.
Oh,
We have
show the viewers?
I have a picture.
Or is it hooked up to your? Oh, okay.
Yeah.
How much?
Yeah, we have about 8 inches and it's still going.
8 inches? Holy crap!
Yeah.
Was that overnight?
Yeah. It started yesterday. Yeah, yesterday evening ish.
When is it
And
supposed
yeah.
to end? Or
I think sometime tomorrow, but we will see. But for now, I'm just chilling in the house, you know.
what do the temperatures look like this week? Is it going to stay?
It might. Well, today, right now, it's how do you say degrees, Patrick?
Dole,
Oh,
dole,
do,
dole. So you say like,
do.
yeah, and
Niju hachido, like
Nijuhachido?
that.
Yeah. Yep.
Niju hachido.
And then kion wa, like kion is kind of like atmosphere
Kion.
or climate. Yeah. But you can say
Tenki.
yeah,
Is that not
kion is they say kion more than they say tenki. Tenki is just like
interesting?
general weather. If you're talking about the climate.
Oh, like maybe like condition, like raining or
Kion no
snowing. Is that?
jotai, the condition of the climate. But you just say kion. Like kion wa
Kion.
28度で so shike is like
Shike.
shike is humidity,
Oh,
like humid, but there's a way to say that and then do is also like the amount of let me actually open up the Yahoo News.
of
Sorry,
course.
not Yahoo News, the Yahoo app, and then see what it says.
So hopefully by Monday,
Shitsudo.
Sunday, Monday, hopefully most of it will be gone. But I don't know. Sure hope so, though.
I've been seeing photos and stuff of my friends and family posting a bunch of pictures and videos of it. It's insane.
It is.
That's like that. How many years has it been since that? I mean, a couple of years ago there was.
It's been a couple of years. But yeah,
Yeah.
before that, it wasn't super common, you know.
A couple of years ago it was bad, but I just remember it being bad because it was cold. It was like really, really cold.
It was a
And
long
there was a lot
time
of,
too.
it was 2 weeks and there was a lot of ice.
Yes.
But that amount of snow in like overnight is insane.
Yeah, it's kind of crazy.
By the way, so humidity like level, you say shitsudo, and like over
Shitsudo?
here, which I knew, I just forgot.
Mhm.
Shike is like shitsuke. Shike is, again is like humid. Anyways, shitsudo is humidity, like how humid, and over here at 75%.
Oh.
Right now, it's always humid here. Interesting. So
Yeah.
yuki is your favorite word because of that. Cool. Do you know the
Yeah.
kanji for yuki?
No, is
You haven't
it
learned that
similar
yet?
to rain? I haven't learned it yet.
It is similar to the rain a little bit. Yeah. Yeah. I think rain is actually inside yuki.
That's neat. I like that. Because snow is
Yeah,
similar to water.
Yeah. It is nice when no, it's not inside yuki, sorry. It does
No?
look similar though. I guess it kind of is certain. Nah, it's not. It definitely looks different. Oh, actually, let me think about this. It is the top of yuki. I'm looking at it now. Yeah, the top of yuki is ame, rain, the radical. Your video cut out.
Oh, it's okay.
You're back. Okay, cool. So yuki. I liked yuki when I was younger.
It just sounds
Um,
nice too.
I like it because it puts everything like on pause. It's just like this little cut. Even when you're working, it's just this little cut in your routine.
Mhm.
That makes you stop and just like. Some people smile. Some people like. Like I saw this video of one of my friends. He on his story on Instagram. He was opening the door. He was taking a video of all of the snow and everything. He's just like, nope, and closed the door. But for me, it was always fun, and even as an adult, it's fun.
Yeah, I
but
think I might go out and later and just walk around.
that's because I don't have to go anywhere necessarily.
Mhm.
Although I can't skate, which is always a bummer. So that's what I don't like about it. But I don't know. It's better than rain. It's better than. And I wouldn't want to have it for like months and months and months on end.
Oh, yeah, of course not. But just like a little change of pace every once in a while.
Yeah. So my words are a little bit different. My words are not as pretty. Literally, they're kind of like I don't know why these are my favorite words recently, but it's words that I wanted to remember. I guess maybe that's why I'm putting these down. But actually, one of them is funny. So shitsukeru is like to discipline.
Oh, okay.
And it's written with hiragana and typically, or like almost always. And
Interesting.
so shitsuke is like the noun version of that. And I always forget this when I'm having like conversations. And I want to say like you need to like discipline is necessary for for dogs or for children because they don't really know what's going to hurt them or what's not good or they shouldn't eat this because it's going to make them sick or all these things. And so discipline, I just didn't know how to say that. There's a couple other words for discipline, but you don't really say them too much. But shitsukeru is something you say. Judy was telling me before this podcast too that shitsukeru is you typically use that like in conversation when you're talking about a dog or like an animal or something, but you wouldn't really say that about your kid. You'd say like oshieru, like I taught them not to do this. But if you're talking like as a dictionary thing, or if you're talking like abstractly, like you should discipline your children or something like that. But even if you say that, it sounds a little harsh. It's like, like smacking their face or like slapping their face or something like that. Oshieru is like to teach. So that's the more like PC version to say it.
Yeah, that kind of makes sense.
Yeah.
You should teach your children not to be awful.
Yeah. So it means to punish. So it's like, it's more on the punish side than discipline.
Yeah.
But
So
it was
has
just
more of that negative, yeah.
Yeah, it was just interesting to me that like they didn't have. It's not that I could find like the nuance, and maybe I can ask some other people, but like the nuance of discipline is not necessarily bad. Like over here, we consider it a good thing, especially with your own self-discipline.
Yeah, yeah, especially.
Yeah, but when it comes to like your actually, I just learned that the other day too, self-discipline on one Kanye, but it's not like coming to my head really quickly. It's like G like self something. Jishuku, right? I have to look that up. I think it's Jishuku. But so like self-discipline is typically seen as good here, but obviously like smacking your kids isn't really seen as good here. But as far as like, okay, well, a kid does this, they're making, they're bullying another kid. Well, you should discipline them so that they understand that that's not okay. Like we all agree that that's a good idea. And that works. No discipline is not the best, because in the real world there are consequences.
Yeah,
So
discipline here is more like it's more like a neutral thing,
yeah, it's not seen
It
as
does it
like
doesn't necessarily
obviously
have
good, but it's sort of like the natural teaching reaction to some mistake or something like that
yeah.
mostly a child made.
Yeah, usually if you
Um,
want to go in the negative route, you say like punish or something like
yeah,
that.
yeah. Punish definitely has a more like probably closer to Shitsuke. I think that's probably the difference, the nuance there for sure.
Mm.
The other word that I've been liking recently that I did learn through Wanikani is Gucci. First of all, I like just the reading.
Gucci.
Gucci, yeah. So Gucci means to grumble.
Oh.
So I didn't even think about this until like the podcast when I wrote this down, that
Mhm.
you can remember it because like all the Gucci people like to grumble about how much money that they don't have because they always want more.
Mm.
So there's one mnemonic. Another mnemonic would be like the Gucci people always grumble about the people who don't wear Gucci
Oh god.
or the people who don't dress up to their standards.
Yeah.
Stuff
Careful,
like
Patrick. You might anger
that.
some Gucci people.
Yeah. So Gucci, the funny thing about it too is it means the first kanji means fool and the second kanji means stupid, but it means
Oh my
grumble, like grumbling or talking sort of incoherently, like
Mhm.
kind of complaining under your breath, right? So Gucci. So the people
Gucci.
who wear Gucci complain under the breath. So I like that word as like a
Good.
favorite word, but Shitsukeru is not necessarily a word that I love. It's just something I want to remember.
What do you wanna? Yeah.
Yeah. So wall of shame word, Khalil.
All right, we're still here with Go with 77% meaning and
Is it
70
Go or is it
reading.
Sha?
Oh shoot, I don't know. It's Sha.
This is the reason it's on your wall of shame.
Yep, it's Sha.
Yeah.
It's that dang font, man. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
Sha.
That's the reason you're stuck at 70.
Yep, I'm
77.
stuck there.
That's actually not too bad. 77 is not too bad.
Yeah, it could be worse. For example, my next word, Tani, right? That was
Tanin, yep.
Tani. What's it mean? Other person, other people, other person, something like that.
Yeah. Oh, I'm assuming you just learned that word because you're 50.
Recently, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, other person, like another person.
Oh, like another person. Okay.
Yeah. Yep.
Okay.
So just say other person and then add and other person. Yeah.
Interesting.
Tani. Tani wa like another person came to the store. I don't know.
Oh, I see. I see. Okay.
Yeah, hoka no hito, it's like the same meaning. But Tani is sort of like somebody you don't know. Yeah, just like generically another person. Blah blah blah.
Hmm.
Yeah. I have the same exact wall of shame words as I've had for the past couple of weeks. So hinge and kagayaku, they're the same exact, or so hinge is the kanji, the onyomi is su. I know these words now. I just haven't seen them in months.
Oh yeah. You're waiting
I'm at
for
the
them to show
level where
back up.
they take a long time. They're on the burn. Like if I get this right next time, they're going to burn.
Cool.
But
Better get them
sometimes
right, Patrick.
I better get them right. Yeah. But I think I will. Moving on, I had an interesting article I was reading again on Tofugu about the looks alike adjective like modifier. So I don't really know how to describe it specifically, but I can give you a bunch of examples. So you add that to the end of adjectives. So e adjectives and not adjectives. E adjectives have you cut off the e. So if you're saying oishi, everybody knows that means delicious. So if you're saying something looks delicious, like something seems delicious, and it's normally something that you can see, but it doesn't have to be. You can say like somebody is describing to you that this pan, this bread has a lot of like juicy sounds disgusting. It has a bunch of
Juicy bread.
custardy, mango filling,
Mm-hmm.
and it's topped with kinako. It's like that soy based powder, and it's super yummy. It's high quality. They only use the finest ingredients. And somebody's describing this to you, or something that you see. It doesn't really have to be something that you it's seen or like heard, but you have information about it.
Yeah.
And then you say, "Oh, oishiso." It sounds like, actually, sorry, oishiso is what you'd say for that.
Oishiso.
Oishiso. So the adjective is oishi, right? So that means it's yummy, and then oishiso means it looks or it sounds good, sounds yummy.
Yeah.
And so you
So
cut
if
off
someone,
the e for an adjective. Yeah.
like, if someone was describing like something they did, and could you be like Tanashi so or something? Tanashi
Yep.
so.
Yeah. It seems
Like,
fun.
oh, it seemed fun. Yeah.
Yeah.
Or like, okay.
So that concept is pretty easy. The one that I didn't really know how there was like a nuance and a difference to. And by the way, so before I get to that, na adjectives, you don't have to cut off anything because na adjectives don't have any like extra appendage. They don't have any extra like hiragana or anything at the end like e adjectives do. So na adjectives, for example, hade, like hade is like flamboyant. That's the only thing that came to my mind right now. But hade is like flamboyant. So you'd say like hadena t-shirts. So if somebody's describing like a t-shirt to you, and it's like flamboyant t-shirts are really colorful and kind of like gaudy. If somebody's describing the t-shirt to you, like hade so. You don't have to say it like hadenaso or whatever, you just say hadeso, like it seems really flamboyant and gaudy.
You just use the base word. Okay.
You just use the base word. That's just an adjective, yeah. And actually, so interesting thing about non-adjectives, this is sort of a side tangent, but you can basically take any noun and make it adjectives by typically doing na, like adding na to it. Yeah, that's just, I can't think of a good example off the top of my head, but it often works that way. So, and then another thing too is that for negative forms, you'd say, like they have benni janaso, benni janasaso. So you add saso to the end of janai. So janai, you cut off e and you add saso. It's kind of weird. You don't add so to it, you add saso.
That is.
So it's a little bit of a difference, but it actually, when you're saying it, it's easier to say saso than it is janaso. Maybe it's a little bit harder, but you get used to it for sure. I know I messed up here because I was reading, but when you hear like oishiku nasaso, it doesn't really sound that good. It doesn't sound that yummy. Oishiku nasaso. So if it's an e verb, if it's an e adjective, you say ku, and then you say like oishiku nai, right? Oishiku nai. Benri janai. So not very convenient. Oishiku nai is like not very tasty. And if you're saying it seems like it's not very tasty, you'd say oishiku nasaso. Oishiku nai, you cut off the e. Same thing, like the same formula that we did before. You cut off the e and you add saso to it. If it's negative, you add saso. So oishiku nasaso. If it's convenient, benri janai, it's not convenient. If you say it doesn't seem very convenient, like somebody's describing their big old car phone or something. And then compared to the modern smartphone, you'd say like, benri janasaso. Or you'd probably say something like positive verb, or like you probably just say something like mendokusaso. Mendokusai is just like troublesome and burdensome and terrible. But troublesome and burdensome is probably closer to the English meaning. And so you say mendokusai, and you say mendokusaso. So add
So
sasol to that.
sasol.
Yeah.
So that's the negative.
So that mendokusai is weird because it's like mendo is troublesome, and mendokusai. So kusai is like stinky. And so mendo kusai, like stinky trouble. Stinky troublesome is like I don't know the exact dictionary translation for it, but people say it all the time, especially for things that like they don't want to do, or it's just too much to be helped kind of thing. Like mendo kusai. Like I am, and it's often like kind of a negative thing. It sounds like more of like a complaint, or maybe it's like something is moody, impossible. Then you'd say like, or just really really difficult. You'd probably just say mendokusai, like things that you want to do today, like yoji. So you have yoji, you have errands and stuff like that you want to do, and you say like gomi o steru no mendokusai. Like I don't want to throw out the trash right now because it's too much to be helped, like too bothersome.
Yeah.
But then again, like that's mendokusai. Kusai is the e verb, e adjective, so you can cut off the e, add saso. Mendokusaso, somebody's hearing what you're saying and they're saying like, oh, that seems annoying. Yeah. So and then so that's some of the soul, and then for negative saso, things you can do to adjectives to say like it seems or it looks like.
Yeah.
And then the weird nuance that I found interesting about this article was actually near the end, under the common mistake stuff on the Tofugu grammar website, which I hear all the time, but I honestly thought that they were the same. I thought they were just different ways to say it. But thinking about it now, it actually does make sense that they're different. So for example, the example sentences they have are ano keiki oishito desu. So that cake looks delicious, right? That's pretty easy to understand. So oishi, cut off the e, oishiso desu. So that cake looks good. Now listen to this. Ano keiki oishiso desu.
Wow.
Do you hear the difference?
It's very subtle.
Very, very subtle. There's just that extra e that you keep in there. So like oishi, you just add a soul to it.
Yeah.
And the nuance there is that you heard that it was delicious. You're not like hearing information, or you're not looking at it. You just hear it is delicious.
Oh.
But that's the thing, is that it's not like a hard and fast rule, because I've heard Judy look at a picture and she'll say, "Oishiso." So that's why I thought it was like the same thing. I didn't really think there was a nuance behind it. I would hear her look at a picture of, I would see her look at a picture of, so her friend with her husband own a bakery, and she'll see like a picture of, that bread that they're making. And when I say bread, I mean like pastries. She'll look at a pastry and be like, "Oh, oishiso." And sometimes she'll say oishiso, but for like the same thing. So I think there's like a little bit of a nuance, especially in conversation, but really it's not that much different. But this grammar guide makes it look like a big, big difference.
It does.
So I don't know. But again, like oishiso, you probably hear that a lot, but don't really worry about the nuances there. I haven't really heard in too many, honestly, adjectives outside of that do that kind of thing, where like it doesn't remove the e and add the soul. I have no idea.
Yeah, it's very interesting because their meanings can be actually pretty different too. There's a difference between saying you think something looks good. Yeah.
That is a good point. Yeah. But that's the thing, is that a lot of the times, like, you'll hear from your friend that something is really good, and you'll believe them. So you'll say like oishiso, or like oishiso. I am taking your opinion and making it mine.
Yeah.
So, all right. So moving on, story time. Normally Khalil does story time, but I figured that I'll take it on this week and give you a break, because you're going to start the conversation on our conversation practice. So This is a little bit of a long one, so hopefully we can keep up. And I love this website, easyjapanesestories.com.
Oh boy, yeah, it's
The
a
title of this in
treat.
Japanese, yes. The title of this story in Japanese, and I love the little image at the top, is Hadaka no Mario. So this is really creepy. Let me go ahead and read here. Let me get my reading voice on. かわいい男の人がいる。そのかわいい男の人の名前は裸のマリオです。裸のマリオは夏休みの間に暑い日本に行く。裸のマリオは日本に行きたくない。日本に行きたくない。日本の暑さが好きじゃないからという。でも裸のマリオのヒゲは日本に行きたい。裸のマリオのヒゲは日本の暑さはいいと思う。裸のマリオのヒゲは裸のマリオにすごい裸の日本においしい親子丼があるよ。裸のマリオはおいしい親子丼を食べるね。という。This is actually not correct. A lot of these things are not correct, but that's fine.
You'll have to explain that when you're done.
Yeah. でも裸のマリオは日本に行かない。おいしい親子丼はどこでもある。ミニ東京で親子丼を食べるという。裸のマリオのヒゲは悲しい。裸のマリオと二人で日本に行きたい。一人で行きたくない。でも今裸のマリオのヒゲは裸のマリオが日本に行くと思わない。裸のマリオはどこにも行かないと思う。裸のマリオのヒゲは裸のマリオにThat's like, there's so many of those. 夏休みの間にどこに行く何をすると聞くと裸のマリオがどこにも行かないと思う。ここで本を読む。3冊の本を読むと思うという。裸のマリオは夏休みの間に日本に行かないと言うけど、学校に行くと、帽子は裸のマリオは日本に行きたくないけど、日本に行くよという。私は日本の鉛筆が欲しいから。裸のマリオは鉛筆はどこでもある。この鉛筆は美味しいよと言うけど、帽子は美味しい鉛筆を欲しくない。ここの鉛筆が欲しくない。日本の青い鉛筆が欲しい。日本の赤い鉛筆も欲しい。買ってください。という。裸のマリオは日本に行きたくないけど、私は日本に行くという。帽子は日本の赤ちゃんも好き。日本の赤ちゃんが欲しい。買ってくださいという。裸のマリオは鉛筆を買おう。でも赤ちゃんも買わない。赤ちゃんを買わない。日本の刑務所に行きたくないからという。しまい。終わり。So that was a really long story. There's a bunch of like grammatical issues there. A lot of it's sort of like the tense is kind of weird. Like he's using dictionary forms there. I think he's trying to be like really, really, really simple though.
I see.
The teacher here. So he's trying to make it really simple and not like give people too much at once. But yeah, the tenses are kind of weird. Yeah, but what'd you get out of that?
A very strange story of a naked Mario. I really only caught the pencil part. He's
So there's two like sections actually to that, by the way. So like the first section was let me try to think of like a good sentence. 裸のマリオは日本に行かない。美味しい親子丼はどこでもある。So 親子丼, do you understand 親子丼? I say く親子丼。 I may have said
Oyakodon.
oyakudon by accident, but it's oyako. Oyakodon is
that?
it's egg and chicken.
Okay, the food.
So oya is parent and ko is child, right? So like parent and
Aw.
child, donburi, like rice bowl. So it's
Wow.
chicken and egg, rice bowl. Yeah, I've always loved that word. I should have put that in my favorite Japanese words too, but it is one of my favorite Japanese
What was
words.
it again? Oh,
Oyako-don.
oyako. Oh,
Oyako-don.
like oyaji.
Yeah. So what he's saying is that let me say it again. 裸のマリオは美味しい親子丼を食べるねという。食べるよね is what he probably should have said, or like, that's fine. 食べるね。食べるよね。Yo, I think yo would sound better there, but that's fine. という。
To you, is that saying?
I think he wouldn't say. I don't think he should. Say, that would be like 聞く。と聞く。Like ask. でも、裸のマリオは日本に行かない。美味しい親子丼はどこでもある。So, do you understand that? So the first part and the second part are connected to each other.
So it doesn't want to go to Japan,
Yeah.
but wants to eat.
No.
Find good.
美味しい親子丼はどこでもある。
どこでもある。
どこでもある。That's a really common phrase, like どこでも or いつでも.
What's the demo part?
Demo is it means but in this case, like どこでも means どこでも together means anywhere. So いつでも means at any time. 何でも means anything. So demo is like a way to say, like generically, it doesn't matter like where. So,
okay.
Yeah, it's not like anywhere. It can be anywhere. It's kind of what it means. Like so, dokodemo is like anywhere. Itsudemo is like at any time. Again, like nandemo means like anything. Like nandemo ii. Anything's good. Like if somebody asks you, like, where do you want to go to a restaurant? Like, where do you want to go to eat? What do you want to eat today? What do you want to do today? Like, nandemo ii. Anything's fine.
Oh, it's like anything's fine. Okay.
Yeah. And if you say like, where do you want to go? Like, dokodemo ii. Like anywhere is okay. Doko is like like where, right?
Yeah.
And then demo is like it doesn't matter where. So when he says おいしい親子丼はどこでもある. So どこでも again is anywhere. And he says ある. おいしい親子丼はどこでもある. Oishi oyakodon. Let me replace oyakodon with maybe like sushi. Oishi sushi wa doko demo aru.
It's everywhere? Is that?
Yeah. It's everywhere. Yeah. So his reason for Hadaka no Mario wa oishi oyakodon taberu ne. Taberu yo ne. I think you should put that. I'm just gonna like correct him here. 裸のマリオは美味しい親子丼を食べるよねと聞く。でも裸のマリオは日本に行かない。美味しい親子丼はどこでもある。Got it?
I think so.
Okay. So I can recap just in case. He said he doesn't want to go to Japan because there's good oyakodon anywhere.
Yeah.
The egg,
Cool.
chicken and egg donburi rice bowl. And then the weird part at the end of the story is like his beard. So mini Tokyo. So his beard wants to go because his beard wants a baby. I think that's near the end. It's like
what?
Wait. Oh
Yeah,
no,
there
his
was.
hat. His hat wants wants a pencil, and his hat really wants
Oh.
a red and blue pencil, and he keeps asking Mario to like buy him it. And then then he also says at the end, 帽子は日本の赤ちゃんも好き。日本の赤ちゃんが欲しい。買ってください. So the hat also asks him to buy a Japanese child because they're
Oh my god.
or because he likes them. And then of course
That's
Mario
so-
says, "I don't want to go to jail, so please, I cannot buy it. So I can't go. I don't like
What?
to go."
What?
裸のマリオは鉛筆を買おう. He'll buy a pencil. でも赤ちゃんを買わない. I'm not gonna buy a baby. 日本の刑務所に行きたくないから I don't want to go to jail.
Wow, what a story.
It's a very interesting story. It's so innocent too. Like when you see the Mario picture at the top, and then you go down, and then you read, and you just see madness occurring.
Yeah, it's kind of jarring, huh?
Definitely very
And this Mario
memorable
is
though.
fully. Yeah.
Definitely memorable.
Hataka. No Mario. Wow.
I think so. Hadaka no Mario is kind of like his name. It became his name. It's really repetitious though. Like he could have just said
Mhm.
Mario,
Yeah.
or really just like made it a little bit easier to read. Back and forth banter in books. You don't have to say the person talking every single time unless it's like you want to make it clear. But he said it like literally every single time he would talk.
Yeah.
Which is a little annoying to hear because I just said Hadaka no Mario, Hadaka no Mario, Hadaka. Like you just go down the essay, and if you just look for the Hadaka kanji, it pops up so many times.
Everywhere, yeah.
That was great.
That was. Thanks, Patrick.
You're welcome.
And thank you, author of the story.
Thank you for writing these stories. They're great.
I could not come up with something that wild. I don't think
I think you could.
maybe.
The Rock with the Three Wishes was pretty great the other day.
I will hope to continue that one day, hopefully sooner than later.
All right, man. You have the reins when it comes to the conversation practice now.
This is hard.
Did you have something you want to talk about?
Yeah, it's probably pretty normal and mundane because I can't really formulate too much.
That's most conversations, though.
God, you're right. Okay. Hajimemashou?
始めましょうか。
始めましょうか？
始めましょう。
はい。
始まりましょ
やりましょう。ちょっと。
う。待ってます。
まず、
はい。
写真を見せたい。
見せたいの ?OK。
見せたい。
じゃあお待ちます。
ディスコードで、
送りましたか？
はい。タトさん。
はい。
何ビデオゲームは欲しいですか？
何の
欲しいですか？ただ
欲しいビデオゲームは何ですか？
欲しい。はい。
欲しいビデオゲームは何ですか？
欲しいビデオゲームは何ですか？
なんだっけある。
はい。
なんだっけ名前、なんだっけなんだっけウィッシュリストを見ないといけない。
はい。
ちょっと待ってください。ちょっと待ってください。ウィッシュリストどこにあるんだっけ？あ、
はい。は
任天堂オンラインに行って、ちょっと見ないといけないんですよね。ちょっと待ってください。
はい。スイ
今、ウィッ
ッ
シュ。
チ、スイッチ音。
あ、ごめんなさい。スイッチ音ですよ
はい。
ね。あ、これじゃないんですよ
大丈
ね。ごめんなさい。
夫。はい。
Nintendo Switch オンラインに写真
写真、あります。写真はあります。
カリルさんが
見て、見て。
Dweebz
見て
とジャ
ます。
パニーズ、日本語のランダム
はい。
の
ランダム。
トピズル。
チャンネル
はい、写真を見てます。これ雪の写真ですよね。すごいですね。
はい。
すごい。
高い雪だよ。
結構積もってるね。
はい。
雪がいっぱいありますよね。
いっぱい雪。
ちょっと待ってね、ウィッシュリストを見てますね。ちょっと待って、ちょっと待って、ちょっと待って。ザ・ラスト・キャンプ・ファイア。ザ・ラスト・キャンプ・ファイアのビデオゲームが欲しいです。面白そうです。なんだっけ、同じゲームスタジオが結構有名なゲームを出したんですけど、そのゲームの名前も覚えてないです。でも、結構有名だ。結構有名でした。ほら、宇宙のスペースのゲームだった。
はい。
最初に早めにみんなすごい期待をしちゃって、期待しすぎちゃって、ビデオゲームがあんまり好きじゃなかったんですけど、でも、ノーマンスカイ
はいはいはい。
のゲームスタジオがこの欲しいゲームを作りました。でも、そう。でもこのゲームが小さいゲームで、ノーマンスカイと全く違うゲーム。全然アートのスタイルとか、トピックの、もう全部違う。全然違う。そう、ノーマンスカイっぽくない。全然。
ぽがない
ぽく
ない意味は何ですか
？like。
ノ
ーマンスカイっぽくない。
ぽくない。
あと、ぽいも言えます。例えば、ノーマンスカイっぽい、like ノーマンスカイの意味。
はい。
でも、ノーマンスカイっぽくないって言ったら、not like ノーマンスカイ。
はい。
だから、ノーマンスカイっぽくない。このゲームは全然ノーマンスカイっぽくない。もう可愛いゲームで、何と似てるんだろう。多分、なんだろう。ハローナイト似てないね。なんだっけすごい独特で、ユニーク。独特のゲームで、可愛いゲームで、パズルのゲームで、3D のフェーズみたい。3D のフェーズみたい。でも、フェーズも 3D だっけ？
フェズは、
なんか、両方だよね。なんか、
2D と、
2D だけど、でもなんか、回転でするときになんか 3D っぽくなるよね。3D になるよね。フェーズ。でもそれじゃなくて、もう、ザ・ラスト・キャンプファイアが、普通に 3D ゲームで、パズルとかやったりして、あとちょっとなんか、ブレス・オブ・ザ・ワイルドのフィーチャー、これなんか、なんだっけ、テレキネシスの技能もある、このゲームで。それもできる。ものをこうやって、ザーこうやってやって、で、物を運べるやつ。で、ここに置いて、で、パズルが解決するみたいな、扉が開くみたいなパズルが結構多い。楽しそう。そのゲーム。楽しそう。
はい、楽しそう。
レビューとかを聞いたら楽しそう。そう。だからそのゲームが欲しいです。
僕
カリルは何のゲームが欲しいですか？欲しいゲームがありますか？
はい、あります。ニア、新しいニア、4月 ?4 月、
4月に
4月に来た
出される？
はい、
来ますか？
来ます。来ます。去年
出しますか？
はい。
出ますか？ 4 月にそのゲームは出ますか？
出ます。意味は何ですか？出ます。
出る。もう来るって意味。
来る。
ちょっと違う。available みたいな。available と近い。
はい、4月。
もう出します。出されます。でも、それを置いて、何を言いたいの？そのゲーム、どれのゲーム？名前何ですか？
名前
名前
ニア。
ニア何のゲームですか？
はい。
何の
RPG と、ファイティング、戦い、はい、
スマブラと似てますか？
悲しい。
悲しい？
何
スマブラ。
超悲しい。スマブラ。ス
マッシュブラザーズ。スマブラって言います。ニックネームはスマブラ。ジュリでもスマブラって言いますよ。ジュリでも言う。スマブラ。似てないですか？
似てない
ですか？似てますか？似てないですか？
似ては、
もう RPG 似るの意味は、looks like。それか、plays like。looks like。でも違うんですか？
looks like。
なんだっけカリルさんがすごい好きなゲーム、Fire Emblem と似てますか？ RPG で戦いもできるし、そういうゲームと似てますか？ Fire Emblem 見たいですか？ そのゲーム。ニア。
いえ。
違いますか ?OK。
違う。ベヨネタ
ベヨネッタ
と、ベヨネタはい。
そんな 3D のゲームですか ?3D のなんかそういう、すごいね。
はい。はい。
ベヨネッタやったことないです。まだそのゲームやったことないです。楽しい、ベヨネット。ベヨネッタ。ベヨネッタか。ベヨネッタ、すごい、なんか、忙しいですね。なんか飛んで、
はい。
剣をなんか使って、刺して、殺して、なんかスケートでこっちに滑って、走ったり飛んだりしますよね、そのゲームで。で、なんか音楽聴きながら。
はい。ニアの音楽は大好き。
ニアの音楽がいいんですか
はい。
もう出されてますかもう聞きますかYouTube とかで。
はい。
Spotify とかで。
はい。Spotify も。
ゲームを出す前に音楽を出したんだ。
ゲームはリメイク。
リメイクか。
はい。そう、古い音楽。古い、previous, older 古い音楽は、
前の音楽。
前の音楽、はい、聞きます。
OK。じゃあ、前のゲームもありまして、
はい。
そのゲームは何 2D?
いえ、3D。
それも 3D で、これリメイクか。
はい。
何プレイステーション
はい。プレイステーションと Xbox。
ゲームスタジオはなんか聞いたことないんです。ニアって。
2010、2010、2010年2010年。
2010年に出されたんだ。じゃあ、そのゲーム、新しいニアのバージョンが、どっちの Xbox か PlayStation で、どっちでやりますかどれでやりますかXbox か PlayStation。どっちがいいカリルさん。
PC。
パソコンでコンピューターでやるんだ。
パソコン、はい。
パソコンでできますかニア聞いたことないんだ。ずり方は何ですか
ずり方何
ずり方。
ずり方意味
ずり方の意味は、スペルの仕方。スペル。
スペル
ずり方。
はい。N-I-E-R。
ニエル
はい。
ニエルレプリカントオトマタ
はい。
どっち新しいやつ、どっちニエルレプリカントか、ニエルオトマタ。どっちが新しい
オトマタじゃない。
レプリカント。
はい。レプリカント。
ニエル。多分ニアかな。 日本語の発音が似合うかな。あ、スクエア・エニックスか。
はい。
なんか、ゼルダっぽくない？ちょっとゼルダっぽいね。
はい。ちょっと。
パズルがちょっと、違う。ちょっとゼルダっぽいね。うわ、面白そう。PC でやるんだ。
はい。
Steam で
多分。
多分前のやつ Steam で出されたんですか？前の古いゲームが Steam で遊べますか？
いえ。
だからもう多分 PlayStation と Xbox だけでできますよね。わかんないですけど。もうね、面白そうだね。そのなんかボスが、なんかどうだろうね。ちょっとファイナルファンタジーっぽいね。ちょっと。
はい、ちょっと。
ファイナルファンタジー好きですか？
まあ、そう。
長いですね。
そうない。楽しそう。
楽しそう。まだやったことないんですよね。
はい。はい、超長い。
すごい長いですよね。話もすごい長い。でも、ファイナルファンタジーが好きな人が好き、すごい。ほら、ワンピースもそうじゃん。ワンピースと、ポケモンと、ブリーチ。みんなすごい好きじゃん。長いのに。すごい長いのに。ブリーチが終わったんだっけ？終わった？ブリーチ。ワンピースは終わってないですよね。
終わったない。
終わらないですよね。
ワンピース
半分ぐらい
？halfway 半分ぐらい
なんか、エピソードは何個ありますか？いくつありますか？
知りない。
何エピソードまで？600、700、1000。
1000。ちょっと。
すごい。
957。
何 ?2000 までやりますか？もう本当に長いですよね。それワンピースだよね。ワンピース。
ごめん。何を
それワンピースの話だよね。
話だよね。
ワンピースですよね。今の973ぐらいの。すごいですね。ワンピースはね、今から見たら何十年かかりますよね。見終わるために。全部見るために何年かかりますよね。1年は少ない。2年は少ない。3年は少ない。多分5年ぐらいかかりますよ。全部終わりまで見るの5年ぐらいかかりますかな。それから6年、7年。もう本当に子供の時から見てないと無理です。無理ですよ。じゃあこの会話終わりましょうか。はい。じゃあ終わりです。ありがとうございます。
ありがとう。
お疲れ様でした。
お疲れ様。
Nice. That was fun. That
was kind of fun, yeah.
Was it a little tough at any points?
Yeah.
What was confusing?
Again, I got the gist of a lot of it. You kind of lost me at the end. I'm not sure what you were trying to say with the year thing.
I think the word that confused me was maybe kakaru.
Mm-hmm.
So kakaru is it's a really hard thing to explain, but you use it all the time for everything. I like to think of it as like to hang or to hang is like the little dictionary definition, but it also means like to take up. So if you say like kakaru, like okane kakaru, it means it takes money. Like it takes money to do something.
Oh, so you were saying it would take like years to watch? Is that what you're saying?
Yes. It would take years to watch. Like,
yes, yeah.
Another thing I did for myself in the beginning for like trying to understand kakeru and kakaru is like maybe use like hang in the balance as like a good bridge. So like for example, like okane kakaru means it takes money. So I think it takes is like a better translation. Like so if I say in order to go to that ride, like in order to enter the amusement park, like okane kakaru, you have to spend money. Like it takes money.
Gotcha.
So if I say like jikan kakaru, it means it takes time.
Yeah.
So if somebody says like, oh, somebody asks you, can you make those that recipe I was talking about the other day? And you say, jikan kakaru. That means like, it'll take some time. Another thing you can say is, so that's like the intransitive, and the transitive, I think I'm getting these right. That's the one you're not really acting upon. It's just like something that's kind of like a law or fact or whatever, is kakaru. But to say that like okane kakeru means like to bet. Like it's not, it takes money. It's like I am doing the act of like hanging the money in the balance. So like jikan kakete renshu shimasu. Like I am taking the time. So it's like taking. So it takes is kakaru, and then taking is like you are doing it.
Yeah.
Or they are doing it. So jikan kakeru or kakete. Jikan kakete yarimasu. I'm gonna take the time to do it.
Okay.
Yeah, so I think take is like a better, so taking or takes or take is a better like translation of what kakaru means. So I was saying that like gonen gurai, so about 5 years. Kakaru kana, like maybe 5 years. It takes it. So One Piece miyowaru made. So to finish watching made 5年ぐらいかかりますかな. So maybe it takes 5 years to watch it all. Maybe 6, maybe 7. I was trying to give you hints by saying like maybe 6, maybe 7. Because there's like 1,000 episodes. So then I said, もう子供の時, so maybe when you were a kid からずーっと見てないと無理です. So if you're not watching it since you were younger, it's impossible.
Like impossible,
to finish. Yeah, because it's just so many years. Like my brothers were watching Pokemon together, and how many episodes of Pokemon are there? Like 700 or something?
Oh god, yeah, there's probably a lot considering they have like 1 million different seasons.
It's crazy. And they were watching it together like every single day, 2 episodes a day or something, and they finished it within like a year or two, like a year and a half or something crazy like that. That's probably not the right math there. It was probably over a year doing the math there, 600 episodes. It was insane. 2 episodes a day.
Jeez.
Every single day, 365, right? So every single day, and they took some breaks, I'm sure.
Yeah.
It's just insane, like 20 minutes, 30 minutes each.
Jeez.
Yeah, again, like One Piece, 1,000 episodes. Closing in on 1,000 episodes. Seriously. SpongeBob too. I don't know how many episodes SpongeBob have.
At least those.
Dude, the other day at the skate park, I loved it because I usually skate with a lot of kids, right? And they don't even know SpongeBob. They don't know all the references to SpongeBob. It makes me bummed out. So like, I have some of my friends who are my age. Patrick. I know. Some of my friends are my age though, which is I love being around them because they're my age. But they they're sitting in the corner going like this. Bring it around town. Bring it around town. I was like so happy. Because finally somebody understands me. SpongeBob references, man. We got so many of those. Some people are jelly.
And they're not going to last forever. That's the sad part.
They're not going to last forever. Yeah, I'm not going to be able to tell my kids. I'm going to make my kids watch SpongeBob when they grow up. You know, like some parents, some parents do that.
Yeah.
I'm going to have them watch Doraemon, which I love. Doraemon's a good Japanese show. There's a bunch of Japanese shows that I love too, like Chibi Maruko-chan. That's another funny one. I'm going to have my kids watch Japanese television as well as like SpongeBob and stupid television. Like, what are some episodes or some shows that we should make them watch? At least like some episodes that are good, SpongeBob is one of them.
Right. They have
maybe
a lot
some
of
Fairly
good
Odd
ones.
Parents episodes. There's some like really, really terrible Fairly Odd Parents episodes.
Yeah, the bad ones,
some really good ones, though.
are pretty bad.
Jimmy Neutron for sure.
Oh man,
Jimmy Neutron for sure.
That's gonna be torture to them. Have you seen the way that show looks?
It looks absolutely terrible now. I'm gonna watch them do the chicken episode or like the movie or whatever they made.
Oh yeah,
Jimmy Neutron the movie. Jeez. All right, this is the end of the podcast.
Yep.
Now we're getting into strange territory.
Sure,
All right.
we gotta get out of there while we can.
We gotta get out of there quick. All right, let's end it, man. You know what you're saying?
Same thing as always,
All right,
man.
countdown. 3, 2, 1. Bye bye, kid.
Zero, matane.
Zero.
Zero.